Hello everyone. So as we have discussed what exactly are triggers before going in detail, let me first introduce you to the backbone of triggers which we'll be using in today's video is called collections. So what exactly are collections, why we use them? So we'll talk about all those aspects as well, right? So today we'll be talking about collections. There are three types of collection which Salesforce supports. So let's talk about all three of them. To start with, the first type of collection which Salesforce supports is called list. Second type of collection which Salesforce support is called set. And third type of collection which Salesforce support is called a map. What is a set? What is a map? And what is a list? So let's start with list. Imagine the old school tiffin boxes we all have used. So collections are nothing but containers to store data. Containers to store data. So let's start thinking in terms of containers. So what is list? List is just a box, the old school tiffin box, if you can remember, this one, which has some special characteristics. It is marked with numbers, and the number starts with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the dabbas keep on increasing depending on the demand. That is, it has dynamic memory allocation. What else does this have? So list is something which is created like this. So if you want to create a list of strings, so let me call this line list of string. Let me call it list. Okay, right. We can store as many elements in this container by using the .add method like this. .add. We want to add something like it's a list of strings, so I'll add one. Right. I can add one more. So this particular string of mine will have one over here and TWO2 over here. If I want, I can add one more one over here as well. That means it can contain duplicates. So this is something which you need to remember. Now let's talk about set. What exactly are sets? Set is also a tiffin box, kind of a container. The beauty of set is it is not numbered, so no index. And the beauty of set is no duplicates. That means you can have one over here, TWO2 over here, but you cannot have one once again. It will remove this particular entity, right? So set is also like this. So if you want to have a set of string, you can create a set of string as well. Let me have one. Using the same add method, I can add entities in a set as well. Set has this wonderful method called contains. That means if I say set of string dot contains one, then this particular line will return true. So this is a very useful method which we can use throughout our programming, right? One more item which is you need to remember is list can store, it can store a SOQL result set, whereas set cannot store a SOQL result set. So these are some points which you need to remember. Now what about maps? What exactly are maps? So map is also a dabba, a container which has this specific quality of having two parts. One is the key, another is the value. One is key, another is value. One is key, another is value. One is the key and the value. So map stores the value in the form of key value pairs, right? And key value pairs should be unique. Second thing which map contains is, if you want to define a map, you can define it in this way, like the key is a string and the value is also a string. You can define it this way. You can give the name as map s is new map string comma string, right? If you want to add any entity in this particular map, you can add it like this, like map s dot put one map s dot put two, right? So you can add multiple values. There are multiple methods as well in this set. Map is a very useful entity to bulkify your code. Bulkify, to be used to bulkify your code, right? Another important point which you need to remember is it can store a result set of a SOQL query as well. So these are some of the important aspects of collections. So in the next session, we'll talk about a sample code which you can write in multiple ways and the use of bulkification, right? It's the heart of, or I would say it's the backbone of writing your Apex code. Always write bulkified code. What does it mean? We'll talk about that in the next session.